Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough, I get the point.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and we've been talking about here on the channel. We've been speculating. Had Larry come on a couple times, talking about what he's expecting from King in Black. Talk a little bit about some of the one-shots that have been announced, but we finally have the solicitations for Marvel Comics for December 2020. That is the month that Venom King in Black launches, and we're starting to get an idea of just how big the event will be and some of the things that are going to be included in it, and that is basically what I'm going to cover here today, folks. Obviously, we've talked about how every Marvel event seems to be 24 issues plus right now. This one, I'm guessing it's going to be like 30, right around 30. We'll see what the final number comes out once we get the January solicitations as well. And this probably goes into February, if I'm being completely honest, but not completely sure about that one quite yet. Well, I'm excited about King in Black. I've been reading Venom since issue number 1. I think Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman have been absolutely excellent. You know, Venom has been must-read for like 2 years now. It's been one of the best comics in the industry, certainly one of Marvel's top 5 comics, the entire run, essentially. Obviously, Ryan Stegman has not been on Venom for quite a while. We've had several fill-in artists. Who's the most recent one? We had Mark Bagley, and then I don't know. The name is escaping right now, but they put on some really good fill-in artists to fill in for Stegman's shoes while he's been working on King in Black. So we're definitely going to get a top-flight creative team on this, and I'm about to get into the details. But before I do that, if you enjoy comic book news, comic book reviews, comic book debate, Thinking Critical is the YouTube channel for you. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this content. Give me an enormous thumbs down if you do. Or if you don't. Either way, I definitely want to hear your comments in the feed. Man, either way, I want to hear your feedback in the comments section, and I'll definitely be reading all those and getting back to you. So now let's get into the details. We've been talking about how every event at Marvel Comics is supersized nowadays. Remember when every time you go to when you go to McDonald's, you say, "I would like a cheeseburger," and they'd be like, "Would you like to supersize it?" You're like, "No," and Marvel's saying we're going to supersize it anyway. Everything, whether you want it or not, it's all supersized, folks. And King in Black is obviously not going to be any different. Essentially the prelude to King in Black, Absolute Carnage, was an enormous hit. It was going on at the same time of House of X Powers of 10. People loved it. I think it should have just been a story arc within Venom, and it would have been more successful. But obviously, financially, it was very successful. Marvel made a lot of cheddar off of that. I'm sure that they're very happy with that decision. And this is kind of what it's all been leading to. We heard about Knull, I believe, in issue 1 of Venom. We've been hearing about the symbiote god. We know he was awoken at the very end of Absolute Carnage, and we've been waiting for him to arrive on Earth. And that is what's going to happen in December, and that is what King in Black is all about. And now let's get into the details of this series. Obviously, the main line, there's going to be 5 issues, written by Donny Cates, illustrated by Ryan Stegman, and you're going to have a lot of variant covers. This is just what they're announcing now. There's going to be probably 40 or 50 variant covers on this one, and I don't blame them. They're going to sell like hotcakes. This first issue is a plus size, 56 pages at $5.99. And let's read the solicitations on some of these. After a campaign across the galaxy, Knull's death march arrives to Earth, and worse yet, he hasn't come alone. With an army of hundreds of thousands of symbiote dragons at his command, the King in Black is a force unlike any Earth's heroes have ever faced. Eddie Brock, a.k.a. Venom, has seen firsthand the chaos that even one of Knull's symbiotic monsters can wreak. Will he survive an encounter with the god of the abyss himself? So obviously here in the very first issue, we will see Eddie Brock, Venom, go face-to-face with Knull and likely get his ass handed to him. I imagine it's going to be not very pleasant and very concrete who won. Where I think Frank Martin doing the colors? I think it's Frank Martin doing the colors. The colorist, along with Ryan Stegman and all these issues when they work together, it's been phenomenal. And this is going to be This is going to be top. This is as good as it's going to get in the comic book industry. It's as far as events go, like you can put your money on King in Black that it's actually going to deliver. Is it going to be too big? Yes, it's a Marvel event. It probably shouldn't be 30 issues. But the main line and a lot of the tie-ins, especially the stuff in like Venom, and we won't have any in Spider-Man because Last Rites will be going on. But some of the bigger tie-ins, they're all going to deliver. Guaranteed. All right, here's the second one. Second issue, it's going to be 40 pages, $5. Anything interesting in this one? Ooh, nothing. What happens to Eddie when he finally comes face to face? So it's essentially just the last sentence of the very first one. I like that. Don't give away too much, folks. So this one's interesting. Symbiote Spider-Man, King in Black 205. I imagine the first issue must have come out the last week of November. I didn't really go through the Marvel solicitations for November. Probably should have. This is going to be Peter David and Greg Land. Likely to be a lot of tracing from Greg Land, but whatever. Peter David Symbiote Spider-Man has been top shelf since the day it landed. The first series was great. The second series was great, and I imagine this will be great as well because Peter David is money when it comes to Marvel Comics. Spider-Man and the Black Knight must team up to topple an otherworldly plot that threatens to turn every living thing in the known universe into creatures made of living shadow. I do find this one's kind of odd. This must be back in time or something because Symbiote Spider-Man obviously takes place when Peter Parker had the black Spider-Man suit. It is not happening in today's world. So apparently, Spider-Man, when he had the black Spidey suit, came into contact with a bunch of symbiotes, and that's what this story is going to be about. So this one likely is not going to be key into King in Black if you want to read the mainline story. This is probably history or maybe some retconning to add some stuff to it. This is one I've already covered. Black Cat is basically relaunching with the exact same creative team, but she will have a new costume. So I guess that makes it worth it. So they can, throw a bunch of variant covers, probably 35 variant covers on this bad boy. Going to try and pop a number on a new #1 issue that is definitely not justified because, like I said, it's the same creative team. And I don't like this, so I don't want to get whatever, and that pisses me off. We talked about this one a little bit as well. This is one of the weirdest comics I've ever seen solicited. Iron Man versus Doctor Doom, but apparently they're fighting. Is that a symbiote Santa Claus? Is he a symbiote, folks? Are these reindeer living? That one looks like he's got red eyes. So it looks like the symbiote has taken over Christmas. What a weird story. Christopher Cantrell, I just reviewed his Fantastic Four. His Iron Man, I thought it was perfectly good. His Doctor Doom certainly is much better. I like Salvador Larroca as an artist. So this one, I don't know. Let's see what it says. Iron Man risked everything to save Eddie Brock, but now he's left with nothing but guilt. So apparently Iron Man is going to be the one that saved Eddie Brock from Knull after the first encounter. As longtime frenemy Doctor Doom shows up with both counseling words and ulterior motives, they'll be forced to battle an all too familiar specter of the holiday season, albeit one now twisted and controlled by the recent invasion of Earth by the symbiote homeworld. So yes, Iron Man and Doctor Doom are teaming up to fight symbiote Santa Claus, folks. Probably going to skip this one, if I'm being honest. It is weird. Comic books do weird stuff, and a lot of times it's fun. Don't imagine this is going to be worth my time, but if you enjoy that, I hope you do. I do like the creative team on King in Black, Immortal Hulk #1, Al Ewing, Aaron Kuder. Probably going to be great. 40 pages, $5, so this one's going to be a little bit more expensive. Half of his alters are dead or missing, including Joe Fixit. And the leader's got the rest of him on the ropes. I thought the leader just died. But never let it be said that Joe Fixit doesn't know how to have a good time. He's out to make sure this is the best holiday that Hulk's ever had. So another holiday King in Black issue. Strange. And it says he's fighting a planet of symbiotes first. So I imagine he's on the symbiote planet. This probably doesn't really tie into what's actually happening in King in Black. Probably can skip that one. We've got King in Black, Namor #2. They solicit this one out of order. They do solicit #1 down below. This one's going to be Kurt Busiek. Not my favorite person. Pretty decent writer. Don't know the artist, to be completely honest. I feel embarrassed. Like, should I know who those guys are? Should I know who Ben Dewey is? Jonas Scharf? Young company Swift Riders. So this one happens in the 30s, almost guaranteed not to play any real role in King in Black as far as what's happening in the main line. Probably just some backstory to give some history about their King in Black, and he visited here in the 30s, folks. I already talked about this one. I almost guarantee the tie-in to King in Black and Atlantis Attacks is going to be the last page when the Agents of Atlas win, and then they see Knull over the horizon with his symbiote army. I think that'll be the tie-in. Definitely don't need to read that one. And here is the other one I talked about: Kurt Busiek, Ben Dewey, and Jonas Scharf. King in Black, Namor #1. The chilling story of the birth of Atlantis' greatest villains. The players, the Swift. Okay, it's a deep dive into Marvel history. Like I said, probably don't need to read that one if you're interested in the King in Black story. If you want it all, folks, obviously you need to get that one as well. The Union. This is spinning out of Ten of Swords, which is getting ready to launch next week, folks. If you're interested in King of Swords, we're going to be doing a stream live here on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about Ten of Swords predictions. We're going to debate them. I solicited for predictions from the viewers in my my community tab on my YouTube page. So if you have predictions, go there and give them to me, and we'll cover them live on the air. So the Union's coming out of this. Obviously, it's kind of spinning out of the pages of Excalibur with the new Captain Britain and stuff. Not something I'm going to be completely interested in. Don't know Paul Grist. I believe it. Yeah, it says he's a Judge Dredd writer. There you go. That's why I know the name. I can't imagine this actually playing into. Yeah, they're just going to be fighting one of his dragons. Maybe another world. Don't need to read that one. Spider-Woman #1 King, or Spider-Woman #7 King in Black. Karla Pacheco, Pérez. Under the cover of the Knull invasion, Spider-Woman stealing elements to cure her condition. Or is she? Yeah, sounds eminently skippable if you're actually interested in the story. Now, this one I find weird. Normally, these Marvel tales are collections of classic stories about a character or an event or something like that. And we get a Marvel's tale Knull, but Knull isn't a character with much history. He's only been shown a handful of times, talked about a handful of times, even within Marvel Comics. He's only 2 years old, but they're actually doing a Marvel Tales $8 collection of Venom 3 through 4. Okay, I was wrong. Knull was introduced in Venom #3, and then it's also going to include Venom 25. This is a weird collection. I don't know if you're excited for King in Black, but you had been reading Venom and you don't want to find the issues. I know if you want the original prints, they're going to be really expensive. I bet Venom #3 is like a $100 comic book just because it's the first appearance of a Knull. So maybe you do need this if you haven't been keeping up. I think it's weird that they would do a Marvel Tales for a character that's 2 years old, but that's just me, folks. I won't be reading that one. I've already read all those. This is another interesting one. If I knew I was going to get my YouTube money before December, I would probably pre-order this from one of my retailer buddies and have this be like my 10,000 subscriber special. If I actually meet it before the end of the year, would be this King in Black graphic comic box. This sounds actually pretty cool. Store your treasured collection in a sturdy surroundings. Every bit as exciting as the issues inside, featuring action-packed illustrations on all sides from some of comics' finest artists. Marvel's graphic comic boxes will star all your Marvel Universe favorites. Continuing with King in Black, preserve your comic collection with Marvel graphic comic boxes inside. And you can get a box, and it includes King in Black comic book box bundles of 5. I assume that means that you're going to get all 5 issues of King in Black. I might be wrong on this. I never bought a bundle, but because I'm definitely going to be recovering the event. All the major stuff, not a lot of the ancillary stuff. Like I said, if I had my YouTube money, I knew I'd have it by then. This is something I would probably try and give away for my 10,000 subscriber spectacular because this actually sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a cool collectible. What else we got? This one's interesting. King in King in Black handbook. Obviously, they normally do guidebooks and handbooks for the DC events. I don't normally see them so much for the Marvel ones. This one's by Mike O'Sullivan and the Hotomi team, and it doesn't name the artist. 48 pages, $5. Nah, this would have to be written by Donny Cates himself. Like, I don't want his cliff notes and some guy I've never heard of, like, destroying it. So as the Dark King descends on the Marvel Universe, the official handbook turns its focus to all things symbiote with a new collection of profiles. This issue covers not only symbiote hosts such as Venom, Carnage, and Lee Price, but also characters whose symbiotes have affected Victoria Montesi, Ghost Spider, Dylan Brock, Anne Wang, plus a profile of Knull, the King in Black himself, and from the pages of Thor, the all-black first symbiote. Have we seen that yet? Did they just give, like, have we seen that in Thor? Have we seen the first all-black symbiote? I don't know. I don't think so. No, it's apparently something you should be looking forward to. I hope you have Thor on your pull list. That comic book will be worth $50 in one day, probably more, when you get the first all-black first symbiote. I don't know. Like I said, this is eminently skippable for me. If it was Donny Cates himself and it had some like origin stories or something, but it sounds like it's just going to be this dude recapping. Nah. There's Eternal. So basically that is it. There are in total, I think they're soliciting, there's 4, I might have messed it up. 1, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is one of the ugliest black cats I've ever seen in my life, by the way. 10, 11, 12. So there's 13 issues in the first month, and we're getting 40% of the actual main line. So we'll double it, make it 26, and we'll add another 6. It's going to be about 30, 32 issues for the entire story. Probably about $130, $140 somewhere in there. There's a lot of premium price stuff. Like I said, I'll be reviewing all the mainline comics, some of the important tie-ins. A lot of that stuff sounded like ancillary stuff. I hope, if you decide you're going to buy it all, I hope you enjoy it all. If you just want the important stuff, I think I gave you a good idea of all the stuff you can skip that is King in Black tie-in in name only, not really providing a lot of information as far as the mainline story. Is it too big? Yes. Am I still excited? Absolutely. I think Donny Cates and Venom have been kicking ass, and it sounds like it is going to tie into some of what they've been doing in Thor, which Larry had predicted. And I can't wait to see how it all happens. And I'm hoping this is actually going to tie in somewhat to what's happening in Ten of Swords. But I didn't see an X-Men King in Black, although they do solicit in December a classified X-Men comic book where they don't give any details or writers. So that could be X-Men King in Black. Actually, that is now my prediction. That'll be X-Men King in Black, written by Jonathan Hickman and illustrated probably by Lionel Francis Yu, because he is leaving. He's taking a break from X-Men at issue 12. I bet he's doing the X-Men King in Black stuff. That would actually make sense because they're trying to keep it on their wraps. So maybe this actually does tie into Ten of Swords. That would be really cool. That would be very exciting. Hopefully that's what happens. But that'll basically do it, folks. There's King in Black, at least the first month's worth of solicitations and all the information that we have on it. There's a lot of exciting stuff there. A lot of stuff you can skip. But I don't know. Are you excited? Let me know in the comments section. I can't wait to hear what you guys say. Are you going to buy them all? Are you only going to buy the mainline series? What tie-ins are you going to buy? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC.
With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.